Hello and welcome to Urban Green, where we spotlight South Sound environmental efforts and showcase different ways to get involved in sustainable living practices. I'm your host, Stacey Ellifrit, and today we're coming to you from the Star Center in Tacoma's South Side. In this summertime edition, we're starting off with an urban learning segment that takes us to the Tacoma Recovery and Transfer Center for a look at a special project that's adding efficiency and environmental benefits.
A new kind of garbage truck has been operating on city streets. A Scorpion is a type of automated side loader truck used to pick up residential garbage, recycling, food, yard waste, and commercial garbage.
Scorpions are a unique type of truck because of the way the compaction blade is mounted. Unlike the other trucks in our fleet, the blade is mounted on the roof and it scoops from above. This makes it unique and allows it to pack more material without having to stop, which allows us to be more efficient.
The unique blade also helps to pack more material into the body than any other truck on the fleet. This is especially helpful as these trucks can pick up a lot of bins in a short amount of time.
One of the benefits is that it runs on CNG, or compressed natural gas. CNG has a much lower carbon content and emits fewer particulates into the air. It's also a much less expensive fuel that allows us to operate more efficiently.
By the end of this year, the city plans to have 21 of these trucks as part of its fleet. Currently, there are 40 regular automated side loader trucks in the fleet, with a plan to replace these remaining trucks with Scorpions as the older ones reach the end of their useful life.
The plan is for us to expand our CNG fueling capacity so that we'll have fueling ports at every parking stall. And we're eventually going to move all of our collection vehicles to compressed natural gas.
In addition to this expansion, Scorpion and other CNG-fueled trucks will be able to use a new system being built at the Tacoma Recovery and Transfer Center.
The project consists of the installation of new compressed natural gas fueling equipment. When the trucks come in for the day to fuel, as this truck has, they connect to a nozzle and it detects pressure in the fuel line, and it automatically starts the fueling operation to provide the fuel to a certain pressure. And we call that system our time fill system.
Part of this project also includes building a fast fuel dispenser system.
Basically what that is similar to what you would get when you go to a gas station. It's a fueling dispensing system. We're building new storage so that it can be fueling the trucks quicker. So there's some of our trucks on our routes that require fueling during the middle of their day. And so they come into our fast fill system and they connect up, and that system will fill their trucks through a dispenser, and then there's a fuel management system that manages the fuel usage or tracks the fuel usage.
In order to keep operations going at the center, this project was built in 2 phases. The initial phase was the addition of the new equipment, building the time fill system for the trucks, and then the fast fill system was built in the second phase.
The system that we had in place was not very reliable, and it was very costly to maintain. So this new equipment's going to provide reliability, and it's going to increase the available capacity so that we can add the additional trucks to provide that fueling for compressed natural gas.
CNG trucks are up to 3 times quieter than their diesel counterparts. Their environmental benefits include 20% less carbon dioxide or CO2 emissions. CNG is also a less expensive fuel, which allows solid waste management to operate more efficiently.
Initial phase of the project has been completed. We are now currently fueling off the new equipment with our time fill system. So that's in operation now, and that was completed in the month of June. And we're now working on the fast fill system, and that should be completed by the end of August with construction. And then they'll go into startup and commissioning of that equipment through the middle of September.
To find out more about the Tacoma Recovery and Transfer Center, visit the city site. Up next, the Urban Tabletop segment will take us to Crisp Greens. It's here where owner Corey Cameron will demonstrate making a salad dressing using fresh summer flavors.
Hi, I'm Corey Cameron. I'm the owner of Crisp Greens on 6th Ave in Tacoma, and I'm going to be making our most popular salad dressing today, a creamy lime cilantro. And then we're going to actually use that to make a fresh seasonal cantaloupe, spinach, and bacon feta salad for everybody. It's a really simple salad dressing to make. Anybody can do it. It's super tasty, fresh, bright, citrusy, and we have everything all measured out, ready to go. So we're just going to put in all the ingredients to the blender. We have 8 cloves of garlic, 1/4 teaspoon of salt and pepper. We have a 1/4 cup of whole grain Dijon mustard, and this is really important because the mustard acts as an emulsifier, so it actually binds the salad dressing together. Otherwise, you could use oil and water to make it a cohesive unit. We have 1 cup of water, 4 cups of fresh lime juice, and then I grabbed a couple bunches of onions and just roughly chop them up. It doesn't really matter if they're going in the blender, so however you can get them to fit in the blender. I would estimate about 20 green onions though. Then we have 3 cups of oil. And then we have 4 cups of freshly packed bright green cilantro. And honestly, you might not be able to fit it all in the first run, so you might have to pulse the blender and then go back and add more as that goes down. This is just a super easy dressing. We make it probably 3 or 4 times a day in the restaurant. It goes well with everything, almost any salad. You can use it as a dip with chips. It's great on like a seasonal fruit platter. We're gonna blend it up. And then once we get that down, we can now go ahead and add in some more cilantro. And then give it another good pulse in the blender and kind of just keep it moving around. I usually try to keep this salad dressing in my house at all times. Even my kids will eat it. There's nothing spicy, really simple, bright, citrusy. Give it another pulse in the blender. And then you can see that it's all one big, creamy, delicious. Oh, we have a piece of cilantro. Get rid of that. So now to make the actual salad, since we have all the dressing ready to go, you can use any greens you want. You can use mixed greens. Arugula would be really good in this. I have spinach today because that's what we have that is fresh and delicious. So take some of your greens. And you can easily make this salad vegan or vegetarian. The dressing itself is vegan, but I'm adding bacon to the salad today. You don't have to. So we're gonna have some bacon on here, some cantaloupe. Cantaloupe is awesome right now. It's super fresh. You can smell it. This would also be good. You could use peaches, you can use raspberries, basically any seasonal summer fruit that you have. It's really easy to adapt it. We've got some fresh cucumbers. I'm a big fan of red onions. I literally put them on everything I eat, so we're gonna put a roast amount on there. Then the last item on here, some feta cheese. But you can easily leave the cheese off and run it non-dairy. This is a delicious, easy salad. It was under 3 or 4 minutes to make. It's great for summer. It's easy. It's fresh. My favorite salad right now. Oh, salad dressing. Then you just mix it up and eat it.
To find out more about Crisp Greens and their focus on providing high-quality salads, grain bowls, soups, and protein packs, visit their website. After the break, we learn more about a renewable energy grant from Tacoma Power. But first, the Urban Quick Tip will demonstrate how to make a natural weed killer. Welcome back. Next up, we learn about a renewable energy grant from Tacoma Power and how it's fueling a new kind of learning happening in South Tacoma. Annie Pansky from Tacoma Public Utilities has more on the farm at Franklin Pierce Schools.
Well, good morning, y'all.
The morning starts with a welcome.
First off, I'm gonna start off by saying why we're here.
And 17-year-old Daniel Trujillo reminding the group of their purpose.
We always work for the community, everything that we harvest and everything that we start with. Always remember the why that we're here.
This Trujillo is very different than the one that started at the farm in February.
When I first came here, I was like, the whole year I'm about to be quiet. I'm about to not say anything,
The junior at Gates says his guard was up and his head was down when he started coming to the 8-acre educational site.
I'm not used to talking about my day, I'm not used to saying good morning. I'm not used to saying none of that.
But every day, his teachers would ask him how he was doing, and that small act of kindness planted something in the teen.
As days go on, they start teaching, it's not all about yourself, you gotta remember what we're here for, and, constant reminder, it's community, 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 So every day, instead of thinking about myself now, I think about the community.
That's the thing about the farm, says Matt Price, Franklin Pierce School District's agricultural career and technical educator. Teens like Trujillo are learning much more than farming.
It's been really beautiful to watch their growth and watch their comfort both with each other and with the other folks, like the other students that have been coming here, as well as with community members. Just watch their comfort of talking to people and stepping into leadership roles, and also really being advocates for what we do here and being advocates for growing food for the community.
The farm takes kids from each of the high schools in the district, getting them out of the classroom, their comfort zones, and working with their hands. Together with others, they grow and harvest 50,000 pounds of produce a year. Half the food goes back to the community, and the other half goes to the school cafeterias.
Some people come here just to be outside and move their bodies and get out of the classroom. And some people show up in this space looking for a connection to the community. I really just try to sit back and allow this space to be the educator.
They're gonna start from down there, then come to the middle.
This place that gives space to be open is what Trujillo credits for his transformation.
Farms taught me how to be nice, I guess you could say. Just open up to people, not be too afraid or anything. That's what they really taught me.
Unafraid, Trujillo now leads these community volunteers, earning school credit in the process.
Their enthusiasm about learning about farming, and they really just jump in with both feet.
Betsy Baker says she's watched students like Trujillo grow on the farm. It's one of the main reasons she volunteers.
It's 8 acres, so it's not a huge farm by industrial standards, but it reaches so many people, it teaches people, it feeds people, and what comes out of here is just spectacular produce. It's better than what I can grow at home.
That idea, better than she can do at home, pushed Baker to become a Tacoma Power Evergreen Options member. She contributes on her power bill to support renewable energy projects in the community.
Our house, the roof can't have solar panels, and that's something that I really wanted to see happen. So it was a really good way for us to invest.
2 years ago, the farm applied for a $50,000 renewable energy grant to install solar panels on the roof. The energy collected would power the refrigerator on the farm that houses produce.
I knew this would be a really good use of that grant.
Baker voted for the farm, and today she can see it working.
What you see as a result of that right here on this roof, a brand new solar project that is making that refrigeration unit all solar electricity. And that's a great thing for the students to see. They can see the importance of solar, they can see how it all fits.
Dave Rossholm from Tacoma Public Utilities worked with the school district on the application for the grant. He says he knew the farm was something special from the get-go.
Community, we just saw today, are here volunteering their time to take care of the garden and the plants. And the school district takes this food, they use it as part of their curriculum, and then the kids learn all about how to grow food, all about nutrition. The food goes back into the school system as part of the lunches. They even go out and donate it to the community. And so this is literally just a great big circle of good things happening. The Evergreen Options program is a great big circle of good things happening. So those two circles met, and this is just a beautiful thing.
Every dollar the farm saves on their utility bill from the 20 kilowatt solar array on the barn can now be put back towards the kids and the teachers.
Even behind the masks, you could see the feeling of pride they had and accomplishment. They all clapped when they finished planting a row, and it was, students working with the community.
Planting something that can't be measured in teens like Trujillo.
The teachers kept reminding me, it's not all about credit, but it's just enjoy the moment, enjoy what we have here, enjoy what we're doing here, enjoy what you learn. Every day I just kept seeing myself happier.
To find out more about this program and how to participate in community farm days, classes, and more, visit their website. Up next is the Urban How To. This do-it-yourself segment will focus on using plants to attract pollinators.
Today we're going to talk about flowers, the annuals that we have in the summertime, and how to make our patios gorgeous by using pots. Okay, so there are the three big things to remember. You've got the thrillers, which are going to be your center, your dramatic piece. You have your fillers, which are going to be something that's not going to drape, but it's not going to get very tall. And you're going to have your spillers. Okay, so your spillers are going to be the plants that are going to end up draping over the edges of your pot. Not only is it important to think about color, say you want it to match the siding of your house, but it's also important to think about what are pollinators going to want to come to your yard and feed off of as well. So all of the things I'm showing you here today are fantastic for your patio and for making your area look beautiful, but it is also going to encourage pollinators to your yard. So one of the first things you're going to need to do is you're going to need to get some potting soil. You're going to get any size pot that you feel you need to, and you're going to fill it up about halfway. Now halfway up, about like that, okay? Shake it out so it's nice and flat. Now your thrillers in the middle are going to go right in the center, and you're going to build around it, okay? Now you want to use odd numbers. So this is number 1. Now I'm seeing that it's a little bit low, so I'm going to add a little bit more potting soil. Can you see the rim here? You want to fill it, ultimately, you want to have it right to where that rim is. And there's a line inside of the pot as well. That's where you want your soil line. So I'm going to add just a little bit more soil to bring that level up a little bit. Give it a little shake to flatten it out. And typically what you're going to do is you're going to take them out of their pots, place them in there, hunker them in, and then I've got my thriller. Now I need my fillers. Now I've got several different fillers here. You can use celosia, a lot of different colors, beautiful. It's not going to get much taller than this. I like to use a combination of edibles. This is a pepper. It's called the Twilight. It doesn't get very tall, but it makes really beautiful rainbow peppers that are just gorgeous to add. So I'm going to add that there. So that's 2. Remember, we're looking odd numbers. I love coleus. Coleus comes in different colors, different shaped leaves. It's just fantastic. So I'm going to add coleus here. And then I'm going to add this. This is going to be several different colors, this pepper. Now I'm going to add another coleus. I've got a beautiful kind of burgundy coleus. I'm going to add a lime coleus. Now we're at 4, okay? So now I've got my fillers. Now I'm going to look at my spillers. Some of the great spillers to use are lobelia. Lobelia comes in many colors, quite thick. You don't have to deadhead it. I've got a white, I've got a blue, I've got a nice magenta. Other spillers here, verbena. Verbena is fantastic. Again, you don't have to deadhead verbena. It just keeps blooming and it'll spill right over. This is another type of verbena. It's got this beautiful variegation. It's called a lavender bop. And then you have your petunias. This is another really great spiller. So I'm going to add this petunia to this, and I'm going to add, I've got 4, so this would be 5. Tuck it in. I'm going to tuck it into the next to that lime because this is a really lovely magenta color and it will play with that lime. And let's see, let's add another spiller. So I'm going to add this white spiller and I'm going to add that right here because we've got so much color there. I'm going to add this spiller right here. Okay. Got a nice spillage of that white. As it grows up, it's gonna just take over and go right over there. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need 1 more spiller. And since we've got some nice limes and whites and burgundies in here, I think I'll add some lobelia. I'm gonna add this lobelia in there. Actually, you know what? I'm going to add a potato vine because this is a really cool plant. Now we can't, at the sweet potato vine, we can't grow sweet potatoes here in the Pacific Northwest because we don't have enough heat for it, but we can take the advantage of these wonderful spillers of potato vine, and they are spectacular. So I am going to put this one, nice potato vine in there, add it right there. So now I have 7 annuals in here, and odd number. I've got my thriller in the center. I've got my fillers here, my coleus, my pepper, and then I have my spillers. I've got my petunia, I have my sweet potato vine, and I have my calabrax. So this is a great way. It seems like a lot of plants in a pot, but it's a really great way to have just lush color all season long. All of these are full sun. If you have part shade, you're going to want to make sure that these plants in particular are going to have at least 8 to 9 hours of full sun. They are going to keep blooming and looking gorgeous for the entire season until we have our first frost. Now, what you're going to need now is you're going to need to water it all in. I like to use a watering can that doesn't tip this direction, but tips this direction. And I'll show you why, because if we're watering this in, you want it to go deep down in there, okay? You want to get right in there. If this is tilted this way, you're waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and then it becomes a shower. So once these get a little bit bigger, the shower method will be fine, but when they're short like this and you really want to get in there, it directs that water nicely. It's nice to get a watering can that you can turn. Fertilizing, you're going to want to use the organic bloom fertilizer. Now, there's lots of different bloom fertilizers. Make sure you get one that is organic. Gardner and Bloom, the all-purpose, works great as well. But if you want to see those lush flowers, you want to keep them going, the peppers will go just crazy. They'll have beautiful colored peppers on there. You're going to want to use a fertilizer that is for blooms and blossoms.
These how-tos were created in partnership with the EnviroHouse Free Workshop Series, designed to support healthy, sustainable homes and gardens. For a full listing of online workshops, check out the city site. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Urban Green. I'm Stacey Ellifrit, leaving you with more ways to safely engage in sustainable practices that are right for your lifestyle.